as we talk about the continued success of the Utah Jazz in their more recent games in the month of December, it goes without saying that we have to bring up Talen Horton-Tucker, who seems to have turned the corner in his more recent starts compared to those at the beginning of the season. Now, for reference, in the beginning of the season, he started the first 8 games at point guard for this team, and things went honestly horrible. From his stat sheet to the overall team's outlook on things, and the season just got off to a really rocky start. After the 8th game, he was replaced by the rookie Keyonte George up until Keyonte got injured, at which point himself alongside Chris Dunn have seen most of those minutes. Overall, in his starts, we've seen him average 26.1 minutes per game, 13.6 points, 2.8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 steals, 0.4 blocks, and 2.1 turnovers per game, to go along with 43.4% shooting from the field and 33.3% from the three-point line, to go along with 81% from the free throw line. Now, if you were to compare that to specifically the last 3 starts that he's had, you've seen him average 23 points in 30.4 minutes, to go along with 2 rebounds, 7 assists, 2.3 steals, 1.7 turnovers, shooting 51% from the field on 17 attempts a game, and 35.7% from the three-point line on 4.7 attempts a game, to go along with 85.7% from the free throw line. Now, these numbers are obviously in stark contrast, comparing the overall 11-game sample size of starts that he has and focusing in on the most recent 3 tells the tale of 2 completely different players. And if I told you they were the same person, you probably wouldn't believe me. Now, the simple fact of the matter is Talen Horton-Tucker has been known to be a big do-it-all guard. Even when he was on the Lakers, at one point he was considered untouchable because he was capable of guarding all different positions, being as a guard that stands at 6'4", 230, 235 pounds. He's sturdy enough to keep up with some of the bulkier forwards and also strong enough and quick enough to keep up with some of the longer, lankier, taller guards. With that being said, his physical intangibles haven't really translated over to the Utah Jazz's lineup on the defensive side of the ball, particularly in different zone matchups where they've had him. That being said, in man-to-man defense, he does particularly well, by and large, compared to the rest of his teammates. With that being said, he's finally finding a foothold on offense, and it seemed like before him coming off the bench alongside Collin Sexton off the bench was a terrible pairing. But more recently, when he started in these games since Keyonte's been down, he's played fairly well alongside Collin Sexton. And I believe that they both individually are playing well together, and just because they're on the court together does not make them play better. With that in mind, I believe it's important to go ahead and give Talen Horton-Tucker his due flowers, because this is something that I personally did not expect from him. I saw him start those first 8 games of the season and saw how poorly the offense was running, how inefficient things were going at certain points in times, and how he just really didn't seem like a floor general point guard caliber type player, particularly for this Utah Jazz team. With that being said, he's really turned things around and taken the most and done the most with his bench minutes for the team, and really just turned around his overall outlook on the year. Now, overall in the season, he shoots 41.6% from the field, 33.9% from the three-point line, and 81.1% from the free throw line. Now, this is across a sample size of 28 total games, where he's played 22.9 minutes per game, averaged 11.4 points, 2.7 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 0.4 blocks, and 1.8 turnovers. Now, these numbers don't necessarily jump off the page at you, and honestly, they're quite abysmal for somebody of his talent and caliber. But with that being said, there just hasn't really been a lot of great bright spots for him up until this past 5-game sample size, where he's really just jumped off the page. Even in the 2 games that he did come off the bench in his past 5, he still played effectively well, which is honestly what pushed him to get that nod when injuries came, push come to shove. With that in mind, though, I believe that Talen Horton-Tucker, as young as he is, still has much to learn in this league, and he's capable of taking big strides as time goes on. But it's really up to him and his overall situation and outlook on his team, whether it is the Utah Jazz after the trade deadline or a new destination, that really determines what player he is capable of being and what player he will genuinely become. There's been too many times where people have talked about how great his intangibles are, how great he can be as a rebounder, how great he can be as a defender, how great of a passer, a scorer he is. Just the jack of all trades, Swiss Army knife type character, and the fact that he hasn't really lived up to it yet in his career. I believe it's too early to look down on him and call him washed. And I believe it's more so prudent to give him the ample opportunity and time necessary to find himself, whether it be on the Utah Jazz roster or in a new situation where he can truly play within his own skill set and not have to tweak and change things on such a consistent basis and fit a specific mold that completely alienates parts of his game that he's so comfortable relying on. With that being said, you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, it's been your boy Wraith Hoops. Thanks for tuning in this video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on post notifications, comment your thoughts below, become a member to get the videos faster than anybody else. And as always, good morning, good evening, good night. No matter where you are on the globe watching, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.